We're going to start here first with our presentation. So give me a second. I will share it on the screen. One moment, please. Okay. So I hope you can all see it well. Uh, Perfect. So I decided to call it active listening, like listening and empathy in negotiation, because probably the most important skill you need in order to do proper negotiation is to listen. Listen to your workmates, to your bosses, to your employees. So negotiation starts by listening. And when you listen, then it's easier for you to create a connection, empathy. Empathy as be able to connect with another person. If you can create a good connection, a good relationship, and you can listen deeply, then negotiation is much easier. Okay, so then let's move forward. Just a reminder, you can scan these codes, barcodes or QR codes, and then register for getting your certificates. Okay. Uh, okay, perfect. So then let's begin. So we are working within this corporate context, meaning these companies. In Thailand, there are many types of companies, small businesses, big businesses, but everywhere you are, every day, we need to do small or big negotiations, right? Sometimes inside our company, maybe in our office, maybe with other teams, but sometimes with other companies. So, negotiation is something that requires constant communication inside the company and with other companies. So, normally good negotiation requires fluid communication, speaking, saying everything we need to communicate clearly. Empathy, try to understand the other person's point of view, what they feel, what they think. And clarity, use the proper words so people understand what you're saying. So one of the most important aspects you can take from this webinar is remember those things. For good negotiation, you require communication, good communication skills, empathy, and clarity. Okay, so let's move forward. uh, we're gonna do a small quick activity so you can answer. Okay, try to send your responses very quickly on the chat. Since we are many, please try to give like one word answers very quickly. Just answer concretely the question. So the question is, think about last time, maybe today, maybe in the morning, maybe yesterday, you have to do a negotiation at work. You had to negotiate something. It could be anything, maybe sending an email, buying a product, finishing some document. Okay. So think about what was more difficult for you. The numbers you have to put in your report, in your email, in your document, or the conversation with your workmate, with your boss, with your employees. Okay. So I'll give you like maybe 1 minute. Think about it for a moment and please send us just very quick answers. Yeah. Maybe you can say numbers or conversation. Okay. So, and we can read some few of them, and I'll let you know what's the general feeling about it. Okay. So let's give it a 1 minute. Think about it for a moment and send us your answers, please. Okay, I'm starting to receive many. Let's just wait for a few seconds more. Okay, very interesting. I'm getting many answers. I think great number of these answers are talking about conversation. Some few of you think about numbers as well. Very interestingly, there is one answer about hierarchy. Hierarchy, like the levels in a company, I guess, like boss, maybe management, employees. So maybe also sometimes negotiation requires to talk in different levels in a company hierarchy. So thank you for that. But I think most people are agree that conversation can be very difficult or challenging. So that's an interesting point. Okay, so let me go back 1 second. Hmm. Thank you for your answers. Now we have better understanding that conversation, talking to other people, is usually a challenging part of the process. So let me go back here. Okay. So then let's move back a little to what is really negotiation? What is the meaning of negotiating with someone? So fundamentally, we negotiate with other people. Therefore, we need to talk to other people, right? So mostly it's a conversation, it's a dialogue. Negotiate requires two or more. It's not about one person saying their own point of view, but most about sharing ideas, listening to others, exchanging points of views. Okay. And because we are all people, obviously, we usually have our own needs and our own emotions, right? So, mostly when we try to negotiate, we need to keep in mind other people might feel different, right? Might need other things. Maybe for us, it's very important the numbers, but for others, the words. Maybe for us, it's very important finish fast, but for others, do it very slowly with a lot of care. So, thinking about needs and emotions makes negotiation better and more easily manageable. And then because we are talking, we need to listen, right? So it's not just about us saying something, but about us listening to someone else. So good negotiation require both parts, talking and listening. Okay. And I think one very important aspect, I'm sure you feel it, you experience it in your work every day, is that negotiation is not about winning, right? So we don't negotiate to show that we are the best, the most important, the most powerful, and we win, but it's more about allowing the company, the team, our enterprise to prosper, to become better. So the real win is not a person's win, but it's a team, a company's win, when everybody wins. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So how can we accomplish that? Usually working together helps us find solutions, okay? And thinking about how people feel, how people react to our comments, okay? And normally people sometimes are worried that perhaps they have bad ideas that create problems. Uh, Problems, conflict, friction happens not normally because of bad ideas, but usually because we don't listen. Okay? Other people feel they are not being heard. We don't listen to them. They just feel they are ignored. They are not important, or maybe that we don't understand them. So in order for successful negotiations, even in small details like sending an email, we need to make other people feel heard, feel uh, taken into account, that they are part of the conversation. So, one message I can give you is that negotiation is about validating another person, making them feel they are part of the team, they are part of the company, and their point of view is important. So that's a little bit about what negotiation is. So let's move forward a little bit more. So I have another short activity for you. So you see different pictures, images on the screen. Okay. So the idea is that we try to think, feel, and see through these images. So I'll give you a few seconds, maybe one minute, 2 minutes. Think about a little bit of these images. And in the chat, you can tell us what do you think is happening. You can choose any picture from left to right. Maybe you can write picture one or picture two, picture three. Okay. Picture one, the picture with the two gentlemen. They are looking at a probably an iPad, a small screen. And picture two, a discussion between different members of a team. Picture three, a group of people around a table. They are discussing about a contract. So, very briefly in the chat, if you can tell us what do you think is happening? How do they feel? Are they feeling positive, frustrated, angry? Uh, they have empathy. They feel assured, secure, safe. So, any emotions you think you can see on this on the pictures? Any ideas? Very quick, for maybe 1, 2 words. Okay. So I'll give you like 1 minute, 2 minutes. Please send us again on the chat, and I'll read some a few of them. So I'll give you a few seconds. Please write it on the chat. Okay, here we have some few answers. Please feel free to send us a little bit more. Take your time. Okay, I'll start sharing with you some comments, very interesting comments. Okay, 1 second. So here we have different opinions. They feel confused. Perhaps picture one. Perhaps they are discussing some numbers or some ideas about a contract. They feel a little confused. We have Rina Patch. She say they say here this they are discussing. Finally, they meet a good common solution together. Perhaps picture two. They are discussing, listening, exchanging ideas. Okay. Second meeting, three completed. Okay, here we have Manitorn saying that perhaps it's like steps in a negotiation. First discussion, first exchanging ideas, listening, speaking, and then at the end they agree and completed negotiation finish. Okay, very good. I think Papa Chipa, they are saying that the whole steps. Offer a contract first, maybe confuse a little. Talk about the contract, discuss the ideas, contract done. Okay, very good. Have also brainstorming, a little frustration for brainstorming, sometimes frustration, but then they conclude the deal. Here we have Pajita. First, offer with scare, not sure if it will succeed or not. Second, meetings sometimes feel awkward, but sharing these ideas. Three, negotiation with the deal, the feeling thing that this meeting, uh, the goal was achieved. Okay, very good. So as we can see, there can be different steps. Okay, sometimes in the negotiation process, we feel a little confused, we have questions, but that's why it's important discussion, right? What we're talking, conversation, like in picture two, in that image, they are talking, discussing, listening, and also sharing ideas. And when you are successful in sharing those ideas, then eventually you can accomplish your goal. Maybe sign a contract or finish some task. Maybe in your company, also finish a task. Okay, thank you for your answers. They were very interesting and they help us develop more into this conversation. Okay, very good. So we will continue moving forward. Okay. Now, I would like to ask you if you have experienced this at work. Very quickly, just few seconds, you can tell us yes or no. Have you experienced at work this feeling of confusion, frustration, maybe problems of communication? Yes or no? Let's see. Please send us your answers. Okay, let me see some few of your answers. Okay, it seems that almost all of you say yes. So I guess is a common probably feeling when you are in your work that sometimes communication might not be very fluent, and you probably have sometimes feelings of frustration, worried. Okay, so no worries about that. That's why we are here. We will try to learn some few words. Hopefully, they can help you in your negotiations in English, but even in your everyday life, also here in Thailand, for your own negotiations, even in your own language, they can be also useful and some strategies. So we can move forward and explore a little bit more What are those ideas to do a better negotiation? Okay, so let's keep moving forward. So just give me a second. We move here. Okay. So now I want to do a quick poll like a voting. You can give your answers again in the chat, okay? So we're gonna go for 3 questions, okay? Then again, answer in the chat one by one. I will tell you one by one so we don't get confused. So first question is, or first idea, please tell us agree, disagree, or not sure, okay? So if you think is that way, agree. If you don't think is that way, disagree or not sure. So the first one, negotiation is only for managers. Negotiation is only for managers. So I wait a few seconds. Please in the chat tell us agree, disagree, or not sure. Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds. Think about it and let us know. Here we are receiving the answers. Okay, very good. I think we are getting a lot of disagree. Mostly disagree. Okay, very good. Disagree. So it seems most of you think negotiation is not only for managers, so everybody needs to learn how to negotiate everywhere in their work, within their company, with other companies. Okay, that's great. So let's move on to number 2. Negotiation is stressful. Stressful, like, oh, so difficult. I'm so stressed. So, what do you think? Negotiation is stressful? You can tell us yes, sometimes, or no. Okay? Depend on what you think, what's your experience. So, is it stressful? Always? Sometimes? It's never stressful? Okay. So please let us know. Give you a few seconds, then we read a little bit of these answers on the chat. Okay. Please just write what you think. I'm seeing a lot of you think sometimes, often. So most of you think sometimes or yes. Okay, very good. Here we have just one. Depends on the situation. Okay, very good. Saudi says depends on the situation. Okay, very good. So the consensus, most people think that sometimes. So depends on the situation. It can be stressful or not. I think nobody says no. So I think it's at least a little bit stressful depending on the situation. But in order to make it less stressful, okay, there are some few words, some things you can say to make it better. Okay, so that's what we're going to practice. So thank you for your answers. Let's do last one. I negotiate at work every day maybe Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday if you work every day. Sometimes or rarely. Rarely, very few times, almost never. Okay, rarely. So please let us know also. You negotiate at work every day, sometimes, rarely. Let us know. I'll also read some of the questions, some of the answers. Okay, we're getting here many answers. Wait a few seconds more. Okay, here we have Patita. She says every day. Okay, with all level in the organization. Okay, this is different answers. Very good. Most answers we have sometimes. Few of you mention every day. Perhaps depends on your job. You feel you have to negotiate more or not. But certainly sometimes, so perhaps every day at least, or sometimes in the week, you need to negotiate something important about your job. Okay, so let's do one final part of the poll. Okay, so very quickly, how do you feel about negotiation? Then this is feelings. You can use any words you like, you prefer. Maybe you feel optimistic, happy, stressed, confused. Any words you think about your feelings about negotiation. So please send your answer on the chat. Just one word, please, one feeling, and then I'll share with you what people think. Let's see. Okay, we have very interesting answers. Challenging, it can be challenging. It can be something you need to work hard to accomplish, challenging. Or it can be also, let me see, some few more answers. Stressful, blowback. So it can have like an unexpected result, perhaps. Unpleasant, pressure. Sometimes succeeds, sometimes fails. Difficult to find a solution. Pasita said, I think always that's stressful because it can create conflict. Okay, very interesting. Okay, very good. So we have different ideas about negotiation, but I think most of you think that there is always room, potential, possibility for conflict. I think most people, when they think about negotiation, they feel that stress about, oh, negotiating is going to be stressful because there's going to be conflict. But depending on how we do it, we can reduce that feeling, the conflict, and we can increase the possibility for good results. So let's keep working on that. Keep that in mind. Just one second. Okay.